I'm Joyce Hornady. You might say accuracy is my business. I make bullets.
You are listening to the Hornady Podcast.
Thanks for joining us and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Hornady Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Swerczek, and today got co-host Preston Lentfer on the show, marketeer. Preston, thanks for coming on.
Can't have two hosts.
Well, it's a
I
co-host.
just thought about that.
Yeah. Well, we're not hosting.
We don't have any guests.
That's right. It's just us.
And I'm also not a special guest. That's a fact. I'm special, but
All right.
holy cow.
Yeah. So, finally getting into the how-to Wildcat.
Yeah, been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute. So for those that follow the show, the How to Wildcat series, how we picked a cartridge, how we built the reamer, all kinds of stuff, using the hydraulic form die, the list goes on. We were all building rifles. Yours is complete. Harvested a deer this November.
Yes, it did.
My rifle is finally complete. And so on this episode of How to Wildcat, we're taking a look at my 257 Roberts Ackley improved build. And it's done, it's here, and it's awesome.
It's sharp.
It's a good-looking gun.
Yep.
At a minimum, this thing looks the part.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Thinking out loud a little bit, we talked about maybe doing a barrel chambering podcast
yeah.
in this series. I'm not so sure how well that one would do, but if you guys want to hear how Mike Whitey Jensen chambers a barrel, which I don't know how that would do.
You got to let
us know.
Yeah, that's the best thing you can do is even tell us if you don't care. Like if that's something I'm not interested in, let us know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we won't waste our time and energy on it then.
That's right. But I'm glad I put some time and energy into this because this was a fun build to put together. It came together just in time to get out on a coyote hunt. And at the time, I hadn't done any load development whatsoever. And it just worked.
Oh,
so
good.
that was great. And then I did some more shooting with it here as of recent. And so, yeah, we'll just outline the build and what makes this one cool and kind of what it's for because it's different than yours in a couple regards.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Why?
Well, yours was built kind of like the ultimate, kind of prairie gun, and a little bit shorter barrel. Already used it on a deer hunt and used a factory action that was rebarreled. And so I kind of went full-blown custom on this thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's,
start with the heart of it.
Yeah, it's different in that regard. So I did not build this particularly for deer hunting.
But you could deer.
Would I shoot a deer and antelope with it?
Sure.
Of course. I'm not super interested in all of the guns and all the tools in my toolbox. This isn't the tool I'm grabbing to go pound on public land looking for antelope, let's say. Certainly capable of doing so. I built this more for funsies. I'm big coyote shooter. That's fun. So I'd like to do that with this. And just banging steel. Just shooting stuff far away is fun. Okay. And that's kind of what I built it for. So I wasn't overly concerned with the weight or the length or really any of that. It was just built as a fun rifle.
Okay.
And it might wear some different hats later in its life as, if I change things up.
Things could be changed.
But I did go with a little bit different action. I've never used this before. This is an Aero Precision. Now, I've used the Solus before. The original Solus I have, it's short action. Used it on Brock's build. Awesome little action. I went with their light, their Solus light. And the reason I did that is this is a long action. And it's going to get pretty heavy. And even their light actions really aren't that light. They're a trimmed down version of their Solus, which is...
I imagine you'd have a full-length Picatinny rail on top.
I would call their Solus, the original Solus, more of a competition action.
Okay.
So this is just a slightly, slim, fast diet kind of action on there. Is it lighter? Yes.
It makes you feel good, but you actually don't get any results.
Well, there's results on this one. It is lighter than their standard. So awesome action. I have nothing but good things to say about this. Love the three lug bolt and interchangeable bolt heads.
Okay.
So if this ever needs to become a Magnum of some variety, I've got the action and swap the bolt head. No problem. So
plenty of clearance there for hunting, gloved hunting.
Yep.
Big fan.
So love the short bolt throw. You know, on these 3 lugs actions, you get away with such a short throw, and this one is just smooth. I love the fluted bolt, integrated Picatinny mounts. It's not a full rail; they are split, but integrated mounts up there on the action. And one of the other things that really makes me like this thing is it is pre-fit compatible. Now, everybody knows that's ever watched the show. Yep. Clap hand, raise the roof emoji. Yep. So pre-fit compatible, interchangeable bolt heads, field strippable bolt. It's just, man, this is a really nice action. I love the bolt knob ergonomics. I like the length and the size of the knob. Sometimes they can get kind of gaudy, and this one is just nice, low profile, but
it's
big
bigger,
enough.
But not, it's not out of control.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And it kind of sits next to the stock there pretty nicely.
Yep. So big fan of the Aero Solus Light. Have nothing but good things to say about that. So hooked up with them, got that action, and to be truthful with you, the action sat around not being used for a while because I was waiting on the stock and the barrel. And even once those things arrived, kind of had some other irons in the fire and drug my feet getting this thing fully assembled.
But here it is.
So with the barrel, with the success you had with your build, Preston, I forget what episode that was, but the listeners should go back and check that one out because it turned out awesome. With the success you had, I followed up with Austin down there in Oklahoma, custom rifle barrels, and got one of his hunter profiles in the 25 cal.
Yep, you can look him up via CRB or custom rifle barrels. They kind of work both.
Yep. Down in Oklahoma, though, did a great job with the barrel, as all the barrels he produces. They just simply work. Hunter profile is not that light. It's not an uber light hunting rifle. It's not one of those ultralight DIY backcountry hunting elitist type barrel profiles. But it is slimmed down compared to his match guns.
Right. Right. Close to a Sendero.
Yeah, a little bit smaller than a Sendero, I believe, but went to him for the barrel and had this thing finished off at 22 inches. Threaded 5H24, pretty standard, and then chambered with that reamer that we ordered. And really set when you look at the improved, but it's the improved cartridge case, and then we improved the throat dimensions and some other dimensions, but largely the throat dimensions and the free bore. So that's why we call it the improved. We went through and really kind of tidied things up there.
Yeah, and in all fairness, if P.O. would have improved it today, he might have done the same thing.
He should have done the same
thing.
They
just didn't have the bullets back then.
Yeah.
From when he was doing it.
And I still think the reamer manufacturing capability, if we call out 0.7 over bullet plus 3 minus 0, it's going to fall somewhere. I mean, they can hold specs like crazy now. And so I don't know in the 50s if that would have been a thing, how tight they could hold those tolerances.
Not a clue.
So 22-inch finish length. And like I mentioned at the beginning, I wasn't really hyper concerned about how well this will be handy in the field and climbing fences and trekking the hills, right? So with a little bit of added barrel length, I was just getting a little bit more speed was the thought. Now, if I could do it all over again, would I cut it to 20? No, I wouldn't. I'd cut it to 18.
That would be short.
I'd cut it to 18, but went with 22. Really no regrets with the 22, truthfully. It shoots well, which we'll get into. Plenty of speed, and it's not stainless.
Well, even with modern advancements in cameras and 4K and all that jazz, this probably looks really good to them. Yeah. And looks really good to me from here.
It looks good.
But tell the folks, what is this? What is this finish?
That finish it's high quality is what it is. It was professionally seasoned by a seasoned professional. I took that barrel, ear-plugged both holes, masking taped the threads.
As you do, sandblast still gets inside of it. But
sandblasted it. You got to get a good finish. Sandblasted it. Then I hit it with the acetone, got it all clean. Now at this point, you have a couple options. I have Cerakoted barrels and actions and barreled actions and other stuff. I have done that. I've paid other people to do it as well, but I've also personally done it. I've done Duracoat. Nice bake-free finish, which is super handy because getting an oven, can sometimes be a chore.
And your wife might get mad at you.
Well, I didn't do the Cerakote at home, luckily. This is Rust-Oleum High Performance Enamel Matte Black.
Silver can.
It's in the silver can. Gosh, to be truthful, the difference between Duracoat and that finish, if you sandblast it, I just spray it every
The
time.
key is in the prep, as they say.
Now, would it be better if it was Cerakoted? Probably, a little bit more durable. But truthfully, this stuff is not tough as nails, but it is a
It
tough
is an
finish.
enamel.
Yeah.
And with proper preparation, I think it can last. I've done it to quite a few of mine, too.
Yep.
Big fan.
So, yeah, I just like that. It knocks the sheen off, especially if you're coyote hunting. It's not going to be super reflective. And you do the prep work, lay down a couple light coats of that stuff. It looks good. It performs well, and it matches, pretty reasonably well for just about everything.
And it's one of the few matte spray paints that I've had real luck them turning out matte.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll buy something matte and, oh my gosh, that's glossier than I thought it was going to be. This one's matte. It is darn flat.
Yep. So big fan of that paint there, and used it on a couple barrels. Now it just looks good, and again matches everything, knocks things down. And if you mess it up, fixed it. Yep. You just
Big fan of that.
spray some more on there. So the barrel turned out great.
Opening day of deer season only comes once a year. Make sure you're ready to make it a knockdown, drag-out hunt. American whitetail tipped ammunition. Loaded with legendary SST and FTX bullets that deliver buck-stopping shock on impact in all your favorite deer hunting cartridges. Proudly made in the USA. American whitetail tipped ammunition from Hornady.
At the end, this particular rifle has worn a couple different suppressors in its life.
Young life.
And it's in its short life. I've bounced around a bunch of cans on there. The one that landed on there for the hunt, though, took it on a coyote hunt, which we can talk more about, was the Airlock. Airlock is a relatively newer suppressor brand, but for the listener, if you're out there and you're looking for a hunting suppressor that is ultra quiet and ultra light, buck stops right there. Look no further. The Airlock Industries. This one I bought for my 7PRC, but it's their zero gravity 7mm.
Okay.
So it's a 5.5 inch long can, weighs 6.6 ounces. Quietest suppressor I own.
That's uber light.
Quietest suppressor I own. So that one, like I said, I went with specifically for my 7PRC, but it was right at home on this thing.
It's got a unique look to it too.
Yeah.
That printed stuff. Kind of, I don't know. It looks super cool.
It does. Yep. And he's got I believe it's a patent pending technology that lets him get these things ultra quiet. So again, for the hunter, these things are ultra light, 6.5 ounces.
Short.
7 PRC rated, 7 backcountry rated. If you're into that, like it is, you can put some pressure in these things, and they are quiet and they are short, 5.5 inches long. So it tamed the 257 improved down, no problem whatsoever. It's ultra quiet, knocked the recoil down. When I was doing a bunch of group shooting, though, when I was kind of doing some load assessment, I did put a little bit bigger, heavier Silencer Central Banish 30 on there. The airlocks, being what they are, designed for hunting, they heat up a little bit. You're catching some mirage, and I didn't have a cover for it when you're doing 10-shot groups, right? It was built for the hunter. It does that really well. So I put a little bit bigger can on there to do assessment with. On the coyote hunt, this is what it wore, though.
Yep. To make an assessment.
Yep. Moving on now back, you got the action, the Solus Light, custom rifle barrels, Hunter Contour, 22-inch. Got the Airlock 7mm on there. Going now.
Maybe we should stick to the barreled action.
Yep.
Yeah. What's going on with the trigger?
Going back to the trigger. So this rifle had 2 triggers in its life. So the trigger that I originally sourced for this build is the Rise Armament Reliant Hunter. I've used a bunch of Rise triggers on the AR side. Hadn't used a bunch of them on the match side. So I got a match trigger of theirs, the Pro, and then the Reliant Hunter as well. Now the Hunter is what went in here, and I did all of my shooting with that trigger, and I absolutely love it. So love that trigger. I assembled a rifle for an upcoming event, and I wanted that trigger in there. So I swapped triggers off of that action and put it in here. And the reason for that is dust, debris, out in the field type hunting. I love that Reliant Hunter trigger. The trigger that this is wearing currently that I took off that action is the Calvin Elite Timney Calvin Elite 2-stage 8-ounce.
Elite is not his last name.
So it is hyper light. It's an 8-ounce, and taking a rifle into the field. That
older one, if I'm not mistaken.
Blue
blue in color.
Yeah,
I don't think it's blue anymore.
I'm not sure, but anyways,
what about the Reliant Hunter? I'm not really too familiar with it. Go down to 1.5 pounds or something like that.
And that's about what it's set at, maybe closer to 2 pounds, but adjustable, externally adjustable. They've done some things that they I'm not sure if it's patented, but they really think they improved the safety of the trigger and the mechanism. And I don't know anything about triggers other than how to pin them in there and shoot them, but breaks like glass. I love the trigger shoe, truthfully, and one of the things I really like about the Solus actions, they have a hanger. So swapping triggers is, man, that's a 30-second ordeal. It takes you longer to get the barreled action out of the stock. So really like that. And like I said, that other rifle I'm assembling for the media event I'm hosting, that trigger is going to get heavy use. I enjoy it. It's a nice trigger and an affordable trigger as well. Not that really came into play, but for those looking, Timney and Trigger Tech are kind of the gold standard, and Rise, one of the gold standards in ARs. Don't overlook their bolt action triggers. Those are
check
good.
them out.
Yep. And then bottom metal, holding this whole thing together. Bottom metal, again, almost a generic answer. This is the Hawkins Hunter bottom metal.
Yep, got the Hawkins Hunter magazine with it.
Yep, and I love the Hunter specifically because it's flat, and then if you pair it up with their Hunter magazines, you only got about 1/4 of an inch or less that actually protrudes lower than the bottom metal. And so it's just nice. It's streamlined. It's not snagging on anything. And the release button captured inside the trigger, or in the trigger well here, so you're not accidentally engaging anything. It's a relatively small button, so you have to deliberately push that button, and I like that. So paired it up with their long action magazine. I did buy one of their spacer kits. Now this will hold long, like 3.7 inches or so, and I'm running these things much shorter than that. So this thing takes up the space, and it provides a little bit more positive stop where those bullets aren't hitting the front of the magazine from bouncing back.
Truthfully, they're long in my bottom metal. The bottom metal that I have that probably holds 3.4 inches. We still have room because we're taking a short action cartridge and putting it into a long action, essentially.
Right.
So the spacer probably critical on something that would hold a 3.7 inch cartridge.
Yeah, right. So I didn't need all that extra.
Which is cool that they offer that.
Yeah.
And of course, they got the little rubber dampeners on there and everything, keep everything tight and quiet.
And it does. When that thing's locked in there, it is in there. So that's kind of been, man, if you went around the shop here and looked at rifles that people have assembled, that Hawkins bottom metal's on a lot. So shout out to those guys. If you guys out there ever need anything in that regard, they make a bunch of great products, and this is just simply one of them. All right, so for the rifle stock, went down to Texas to our friends down there.
Shiner.
Texas.
Get a Shiner Bach while you're down there.
Nothing's finer than a nice cold Shiner.
Delicious.
And, went with an Iota stock. Now, that Casper Outdoors company, that we teamed up with for the 22 Creed, and they're good friends of ours, they got Stiller Actions, they got Horizon Firearms, and then they have, Iota rifle stocks. And this is the Echo. And what I like about the Echo...
EKO.
Yep, EKO, spelled a little funny. I love the shape. Ergonomics are great. Love the little palm swell, the vertical grip, nice thumb shelf. They're lightweight, carbon fiber, good looking color, kind of a midnight blue looking color scheme here. And one of the other things I love about them is when you need a stock, like you can get them at places, Sport South and wherever, right from their website. If you have one that you custom order, it's 4 to 6 week lead time, not 4 to 6 month lead time, which I think is really fantastic. So I've got this stock on my 22 Creedmoor, for example. I built my father's 7 PRC in one. You've got a couple. They're just nice ergonomic stocks, and I thought it was really going to fit this build nicely.
But you have customized it a little bit, it looks like, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that just like a Seth Swerczek quintessential thing, right?
What is put flush cups
Flush
everywhere?
cups everywhere.
So, I mean, it's a standard thing, I think.
For
I don't know.
you.
For me, and
Yeah.
for a lot of people. You know,
Could
I've
be.
got a couple slings. Got two. I say a couple, like a legit, I have two slings. And they have.
It's not like tripods.
All right. I have many of those. But I have two slings, and they are push-button flush cups. And that's how it is. And so when I get a stock, if it doesn't have them in certain places, I will install those push-button flush cups. Now, I like the anti-rotation ones that give you a limited rotation, rather. So I always put one up front, one here on the buttstock, right on the bottom.
Right,
Usually,
straight below.
there's a sling swivel here. So I
Yeah.
take out the sling swivel. I've gotten pretty quick at these things, but I put in a mill, get everything lined up, leveled, true with the world, plunge the little brass insert that's in there for the sling swivel, and then I tap it, and then I epoxy a sling swivel inside, or a flush cup in there. Up front, I also do the exact same thing. However, I don't have to do that near as much now. Our friends over at Salmon River Solutions, Ken doing a great job over there, and the team.
And he listens to the consumer.
Yeah. So
You know?
got one of their long rails on here. So this is an Arca rail that goes to Picatinny up front, and at the transition of Picatinny to Arca, there's a flush cup. So now I don't have to install one. I can bolt the rail on, and I love having Arca on all my hunting rifles. You
Mhm.
mentioned tripods. I'm in a tripod a lot. With this Arca system, I can bolt right into any of my tripods, and I can still run a lot of my Picatinny bipods.
Right.
I have Arca bipods as well, but I like to have some of each. And for here, I can just bolt that in with the standard screw holes. I drilled and installed a T-nut for 3 points of contact for the rail, but it comes factory with 2. Take the sling swivels out, and you're off to the races.
Yep. And you probably did that with like a mill or something fancy.
Yes.
I do my T-nuts handheld.
Yeah. Well, you could do them. You could do them a lot of ways.
Do whatever way you want.
Yeah. It's a lot easier on a mill, because then like if you drill your hole, and then you can countersink the
In
hole.
your opinion.
And it's just everything looks nice when you're done too.
Nobody's ever going to see the inside of my channel.
I'll
But
know it's
anyway,
there.
I can make it look pretty good too.
Yes,
You
you
just got to
can.
have a steady hand.
Yeah.
Grit. Stick your tongue out.
Yeah. You could use a drill press.
Good.
Yes.
Not going to happen.
The Hornady Trek Lite Lockbox XXL. Constructed of an advanced impact-resistant polycarbonate featuring dual 4-digit TSA locks, the Trek Lite Lockbox offers heavy-duty protection at 1/3 of the weight of steel. The included 1,500-pound rated security cable with patented cable connector maximizes cargo space for up to 2 full-sized handguns. The Trek Lite Lockbox XXL from Hornady Security.
Well, anyway, the Salmon River Solution rail, to say I have that on a lot of rifles would be an appropriate statement. I
Yes.
have those rails on a lot of things, and I just like the versatility. Arca and Picatinny, because some of my bipods, that one right there,
Will do
for
both.
example, well, they're not inexpensive, right? Like,
right.
so if I have one and it's a Picatinny bipod and it was expensive and I love using it, well, I want to make sure I have ways to use it. So
Yeah.
for me, that works. And then you
Well,
integrate
on a field style rifle, I like to, for whatever reason, I like having the Picatinny, connection
Mhm.
on my bipods
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I
Makes
don't
you
know
feel
why.
good.
Yeah.
Look good, feel good, shoot good.
Shoot good. Yep.
That's right. So that's the stock. That's the upgrades to the stock, if you will. Not necessary. Actually, Horizon Firearms, if you buy one of their rifles, actually comes with a Picatinny to Arca plate on there that they manufacture themselves.
Gotcha.
So that's the stock. We talked about bipod up front there. That is the Gunworks Elevate bipod. I really like that thing. It is so versatile. Gets low, goes up pretty high. It's light. It's quick on and off. Been using that now for a couple of years and big fan.
Yep. I have one as well. I am also a big fan. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, that it worked
It
well.
gets wide, it gets skinny, it gets tall, it gets short.
I'd like to try one of their light ones.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
one even lighter?
They make just now.
I'll
Just
be
this
darned.
minute, just released. Yeah, Gunworks, if you're listening, we'd like to try one. Send one over for the show. And then up top here, kind of rounding out the whole build, is the optic. This here is a little bit of a departure from what I traditionally do on a stock, but with this being kind of varmint-minded, I thought this makes sense to me.
Yeah, there's some weird numbers on there, isn't there?
Yeah, so
I just
this
noticed.
is a Leupold VX6 Gen 2. Now, that means it's in minute of angle, which is why there's a lot of numbers on there. So it is minute of angle. I love the toolless resettable turrets.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. No tools necessary to slip your turrets back to zero. So I love that. It's in a set of their Mark IV rings. This is the 3-18, and it's got second focal plane reticle. Now, normally I'm first focal plane in mill on virtually everything I do, but with varmint hunting, again, the goal is to shoot them at the call at 30 yards, right? So I don't need a first focal plane reticle. And like this last outing, for example, there was a coyote killed at 612 yards. Yes, that happened. It wasn't me. Everything that I was a part of was inside of 250. Almost all of those inside of 100.
Right.
So the second focal plane is nice. It's clean.
It's not
nice small reticle. And when if I'm cranked up, I'm not covering up too much stuff. And if I'm zoomed out, I can still see the reticle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that worked out really nicely. Big fan of that scope. And like I said, for shooting groups and stuff, 3-18 is great. And it really rounded out the build nicely. I like the look. It's super low profile and the low rings. All in all, really a fun build. And like I said, I was really happy to get this thing together finally and get it out on a hunt.
I just realized this is kind of like a bonus episode inside of the episode. We just did a rifle build.
Yeah.
And now we're going to find out about your 257 Roberts Ackley improved results.
Yeah. So result-wise, I got this thing screwed together, and the first thing I'm going to do is take it downstairs and see how it shoots with factory ammo.
Oh, the 117.
So I took factory 257 Roberts ammo, fire form in it, and the first 9 shots out of the gun. Now, I bore sighted it and then went to the 100-yard side.
Okay.
These are the first 9 shots from the gun with it on a clean barrel, and it shot 1.28 inches at 100 yards.
Okay.
While I was fire forming brass. I shot a 10th shot, but I'm not sure what happened. It didn't pick it up, or I had one omitted to see what the group would look like without that one, and I forgot to unomit it, and it replaced it. Anyway, 1.28 fire forming, had a 92-foot second extreme spread, filling that chamber.
Pretty average from when we were fire forming all that brass.
Yep, but it shot well, and so that gave me some pretty good, like, hey, I think this dog's gonna hunt. So then I went and did some testing with 3 different bullets and a couple of different powders. Now I had some prerequisites of like, I kind of know what I want to use, and so I'm going to try really hard to use that unless I can't make it work otherwise. So, and one of those was I really want to shoot 95 ELD VTs for varmint hunting, and
hunting coyotes.
I really kind of want to use Stay Ball 6.5 because I've got 4 pounds of it.
Okay.
So, and I really don't have a home for it. So, and it meters. I can meter straight out of the powder dispenser. So that's kind of what I really wanted to do. But the first thing I did was shoot some 128 ELDXs because you had already done all the work. So I took your exact load. I started a grain and a half lower and then just walked it up in 1-shot increments just to make sure I wasn't going to run into pressure. And I certainly did not. I think there's room.
There's room on the top.
Yep, there's room to go up with this. So 128 grain ELDXs with Hodgson's 4831, and it shot 1.4 inch for 10 shots at 100 yards. So not the most accurate load in the world, but
by the time I had settled on my load, I had well over 100 shots on the rifle.
Yeah.
So yours is still pretty new at that point.
Yeah, this was shots 11 through 20, as it were. So that was, again, a not lackluster, but I was like, okay, well, I think I can dial things up here. Before I do that, I'm going to take that same load and put it in the 134 ELD match, just a little bit bigger bullet. And so I did that, and that shot right under 1 inch at 100 yards for 10 shots, and it clustered up most of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it pounded a knot hole with a couple of them that are just out. So the mean radius is 0.3 even. So that's pretty telling, even on a 10 shot, that although the group side was 0.9, having a mean radius of 0.3 tells us that the rest of the shots were real close together.
Right.
So that was nice. So those are not going very fast. Those are doing about 2,900. So nothing crazy, a little bit lower, 2,880, 2,890, something like that. So again, not anything to be overexcited about. But it was one powder. I'm confident there's meat on the bone from a velocity standpoint, but it's not what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to shoot stay ball 6.5, and I wanted to shoot 95s. And so I did a quick little ladder of running stay ball 6.5 up and then settling in on what I thought was going to be a relatively conservative but not hyper-conservative load that would give me good speed and good accuracy. And it definitely did that. So this is what I took to Wyoming on the coyote hunt. So for anybody that follows Hornady on social media, you've probably seen, or follows me on social media, followed as our partners, there's been a bunch of reels and stuff like that on like Instagram and Facebook, even on YouTube, about this hunt we did in Wyoming. Paired up with Jeff Nimnick and Lucky Duck, and went out and had a great time in Wyoming. Called in a bunch of coyotes in I'm going to call it a not prime time to be out there calling. But man, we did a number on them. It was a great trip. That's what I took that rifle on. And that was 95 VTs with stay ball 6.5, running just south of 3,200 feet per second.
Okay.
3194, I think, was the average. It shot also a 0.9 at 100 yards for 10 shots, but with an even smaller mean radius.
Okay.
So 0.2 and change, 0.25, 0.26 mean radius at 100 yards. So, again, although the extreme spread is very similar to the 134 load of being 0.9 inches at 100, that mean radius tells us that all the other shots outside of the two that define the extreme spread of the group, those other shots get more of a vote. And when their votes are on top of each other, that is a very good shooting load. And so that's what I took to Wyoming, and it performed really, really well. I say it performed well because I shot it a little bit going before I went out there, confirming zero, making sure my BX6 binoculars lined up, with forward off, running them, everything out there, running it out to range. I only shot one coyote out there. My job on these events is I'm hosting the event. I want everybody else to do all of the shooting. I want everybody else to have all the fun and the red carpet to be rolled out for them. That's the PR guy job. Well, on occasion, PR guy's job is also to shoot a coyote. So we set up on this spine, and the wind was kind of blowing east to west, or kind of northeast to southwest, which was an odd wind direction for where we were at in Wyoming.
Yeah, doesn't happen often.
That doesn't happen very often. Well, it was all over the place. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, there was a spine and a draw that fed each side of that spine. So my buddy Jeremiah and a camera guy were on this side. Me and Kelly were on the other side. And the call's going, and there was a crease on Jeremiah's side that you couldn't see. It looked like it was flat, but it wasn't. And that coyote came through that crease up and over the ridge, and by the time I saw it, it was getting pretty leery of us and trotting away. So while I was going to change the call, we had a jackrabbit distress going on. Kelly was reading ranges to me as it was trotting away. And the last range I heard was 240. And I hit schoolyard brawl on the Lucky Duck. Man, you're calling coyotes in March? Let me tell you, they come to the schoolyard brawl. That call worked the whole trip. I could do a whole separate episode with Jeff just about that. I don't know what it is about that sound. Anyways, it was trotting away. I'm hearing the ranges. It's still trotting. I hit the button to start playing schoolyard brawl, and I'm in a tripod. By the time I lean back over and get into the gun, that coyote had locked up the skids, turned and was trying to, getting ready to face us. And I put one in the chest at 2-something. I don't know, over 240, certainly less than 300. And you want to talk about getting there in a hurry. That 95 doing 3,200 feet per second made a very audible arrival at the coyote. It was fantastic. And I just felt good to baptize the gun in that way. It's kind of what I built it for, and everything worked out.
Take your priming process to the next level with the Hornady VersaPrime Bench Priming Tool. Engineered for reloaders who demand speed, precision, reliability, and safety. The Hornady VersaPrime Bench Priming Tool features tight machined tolerances, ensuring consistent and reliable performance. Made in the USA and backed by a lifetime warranty. The best of both worlds, precision and high volume. The VersaPrime Bench Priming Tool from Hornady.
So I come home from that trip, and I thought, man, 3200's cool. What about 3400?
That's probably meat on the bone.
So I put the Stay-Ball 6.5 to the side.
Sit there for a second.
Yeah, think about it. I busted out the Hodgdon Superformance.
Okay.
Now, Hodgdon Superformance is a highly progressive propellant. I mean, real progressive. So its ability to produce high velocity is there. It produces some high speeds. So I did a quick little workup. I ran her right up to what would have been right at 3,400 feet per second, and I shot a 10-shot group. And let's just say I will never do that again.
Oh, okay. Not good.
Group size was 2.9 inches at 100 yards. So it did not like that combination. So you know what? For the rest of this rifle's life, if it shoots 95 VTs at 3,200, I'll be plumb happy. I do think I could play around with this Stay-Ball load and tweak that up a little bit. Because, again, I didn't really explore it all that well.
You have to explore the space.
Got to explore the space. Add some cowbell.
Yep.
You know. So the other thing that I'd probably like to do is try some other propellants. Mag Pro, Reloader 17 comes to mind, which is another really high velocity producing propellant. I'm not all that concerned about temperature stability with this. I'm trying to shoot coyotes, maybe some prairie dogs, right? So if it's, maybe not the most temperature stable powder in the world, okay.
Yeah, I've yet to get a pressure sign.
Yeah.
So I might do that. I settled before, last year's rifle season. I'd like to see a little primer, ejector mark one time. Then I'll come back down.
Yeah, but
I haven't found it.
Yeah. Well, and you're using strictly 4831 at this point.
Yes.
Yep. So, maybe try some Stay-Ball 6.5. I've got some.
I just might go higher with this 4831.
Yeah, super
come back
performance.
down.
I couldn't. I did try some 4831 with the 95s. I didn't shoot it for dispersion. I just kind of did a quick walk up. Didn't run any pressure signs. I ran out of space to put powder. So
Jam it in there. I was going to try some Stay-Ball HD. It just happened on the 4831 load. So I still have a pound of that I'd like to try.
Yeah. It's fun. This has been a fun build and been a fun project. The wildcatting thing as a whole has been fun.
I feel like a kid again.
Well, sometimes things get kind of pedestrian, you know? And so it was fun to do kind of a full-on custom build and wait for the reamer, wait for the barrel, and just, have to piece it together.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy that stuff as well.
That was fun. So I'm probably going to do some more tinkering with this thing. My coyote hunting.
I'll probably tinker with mine forever.
Probably.
You might too.
Yeah. Yeah, the brass thing is not as much of an inconvenience as I thought it would be.
Well, we cheated.
Yeah.
We have a fire-forming barrel.
Yeah, I shot
that makes it really nice.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. But
I guess sizing, nothing crazy, just the custom dies.
Yeah, custom die. Obviously, that Ben, who designed the reamer, designed the dies or laid the dies out, and so the set that we had out of our custom shop, it's that simple. Thread it down till it touches the shell holder. That bumps the shoulder like 3 thou, and call it a day.
Okay.
As far as bullet seating goes, I did not. With my 95s, they're jumping quite a bit more.
Sure.
A little bit shorter bullet. But I think the 128s are up there at like 50 off, something like that. Sound right?
Yeah. Maybe 30. I can't remember. 35, 30?
Yep. And then the 134s would be, almost the same O-drive profile as the 128s.
Right.
So they're right in there. I do think I'd like to spit some 138A tips out of here. I don't have any. But I think that would be a nice treat for me, just as to go ring some steel. It is a little bit more recoil than I thought it would be. The rifle all in is 11.36 pounds, as you guys see it right here. So it's not a light rifle by any means.
Could have been heavier. though too. Like that. Yeah, that's a nice weight for what I'm seeing here, what I'm picturing.
Yep. I would love to get out there and stretch the legs more often. I need to find a place where we just go shoot steel at long range when the crops are in. Would be also convenient.
Yeah.
It's been a fun build. It was fun to do. I'm excited for more coyote calling. I think those days are kind of over for me this year or this season.
Imagine this may go on the prairie dog shoot.
I think I'll take
limited shots will keep that barrel in pristine condition.
Yeah.
You already got a 95 grain load. Might as well.
Might as well just shoot them. Yep, that's true. That's a good point. I don't know what else I'll do with it, but again, as far as coyotes go, this thing, I've never shot a bullet that big that fast. Not that a 95 is particularly big, but in the world of varmint stuff, everybody that's listening to the show, we're shooting 22 Creeds. We're shooting 22 arcs. We're 6 arcs.
Right.
Like
243s.
Yeah, so if we're doing high velocity, like a 22 arc or a 22 Creed, the bullet weighs 60 grains, 65, 69 grains, something like that.
80 if you step into the 60.
Yeah.
Or 6 millimeters, excuse me.
So to be doing 3,200 plus with a 95, and that 95 sounds really light, but when you see it, that's a big bullet.
Yeah. Pretty aerodynamic.
It is indeed. Yep. With that, that's the build. That's the how-to Wildcat Seth Swerczek build. Now only one more.
We'll see if that ever happens.
What are we going to have to do? Listener, if you want to see Ben's rifle build,
Semi-custom.
please start chirping in the comment section or email us podcast@Hornady, because I'll tell you what, this won't happen unless we cattle prod him. He was all excited about it.
It is a hoot, too. Like, I thought that the 257 Roberts AII would be maybe slightly anemic, but it's really not, and it's a joy to shoot.
Yeah.
We just prod him in the comment section. I'll send him some screenshots.
Yep. We got to let him know that we want to see this thing because he's got all the components. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He just needs to do the work.
Yep. Start turning some chips.
Yep.
Making some chips.
Making chips.
Yeah, whatever.
Turning threads.
Punching G code. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I think that's a CNC thing.
Yeah. I digress. Anyways, Preston, that's the build.
Thanks for showing it off.
Yep. I think we got 2 good-looking 257 improved. I think we did I think we paid respect to the Roberts family and the P.O. Ackley family of supporters as well. I think this is a couple cool builds that honor the tradition of wildcatting.
Amen.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for
pleasure.
walking me through this, and let's get back at it.
Sounds like a plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this episode about my 257 Roberts Ackley Improved. This is the culmination for me of our How to Wildcat series, all the way from cartridge selection to fire-forming brass to getting the rifles assembled and getting them out in the field. It's been fun to shoot. I was really happy to get it out there on a successful hunt out there in Wyoming. Now, we appreciate you listening. We'll catch you on the next one.